So let us continue with the next topic, that is next named reaction with respect to Williamson's ether synthesis. So already we have discussed this. When it comes to Williamson's ether synthesis, we know that in an Williamson's ether synthesis, alkyl halide is the major reactant. So this alkyl halide is made to react with sodium alkoxide. So when an alkyl halide is made to react with sodium alkoxide, here it follows SN2 mechanism that gives rise to ether as the major product along with the formation of what? Sodium halides. This particular reaction is called as Williamson's ether synthesis. Suppose if I consider a simple alkyl halide, when it is made to react with sodium methoxide and it follows SN2 mechanism to give a product called as dimethyl ether along with the formation of what? NaCl. But one should know that when primary, secondary and tertiary alkyl halides are involved in a chemical reaction, the products obtained are entirely different. Now let us discuss the same Williamson's ether synthesis reaction when primary, secondary and tertiary alkyl halides is involved in a reaction. So first one, now let us discuss the first reaction with primary alkyl halide, or I can also call it as what? 1 degree alkyl halide. So this is nothing but ethyl bromide, where this ethyl bromide is 1 degree alkyl halide. So when this 1 degree alkyl halide is made to react with sodium ethoxide, that is C2H5ONa, sodium ethoxide, this is called as sodium ethoxide. When sodium ethoxide is made to react with primary alkyl halide by maintaining a temperature of 330 Kelvin, when it undergoes SN2 mechanism, here what happens? Na plus and Br minus gets eliminated because this will be CH3 CH2 plus and Br minus, this is C2H5O minus and Na plus, so that NaBr gets eliminated along with the formation of a compound called as diethyl ether. So this is the condition when primary alkyl halide is obtained. When primary alkyl halide is used, where ether will be the major product. But the case of reaction is different when secondary alkyl halide is involved in a chemical reaction. For example, if I take a secondary alkyl halide, so this is an example for secondary alkyl halide. So it is known as isopropyl bromide, or I can also call it as 2-bromopropane. This is also called as 2-bromopropane. So when this 2-bromopropane is again made to react with sodium ethoxide by maintaining a temperature of 330 Kelvin. Now the reaction tells that when the alkyl halide is secondary in its nature, alkene will be the major product obtained. Now what happens? This bromo gets eliminated as bromide ion. From this methyl, one hydrogen gets eliminated, so that the product will be what? CH3CH double bond CH2, which is known as propene. And this propene which is obtained is 79%, which is the major product. Along with this, there is a formation of ether. So how ether is formed? That is CH3 with one CH, where there is an attachment of CH3 along with O along with C2H5. So this is nothing but ether, where the percentage of ether will be how much? 21%. This is called as OC2H5 is called as what? Ethoxy. So I can call it as, for the second carbon, so this is first, this is second, this is third carbon, I can call this ether as 2-ethoxy propane as the name of the ether, or else you can also call it as ethyl isopropyl ether. Both are same. So one should know that when a secondary alkyl halide is involved in Williamson's ether synthesis, the major product will be alkene followed by ether. Now let us discuss a chemical reaction when tertiary alkyl halide is involved in a reaction. For example, when I take a tertiary alkyl halide, so this is known as tertiary butyl bromide. So when this tertiary butyl bromide is again made to react with sodium ethoxide, here just warm the reaction. So when we warm the reaction, what happens? This bromo gets eliminated and one of the hydrogen from this methyl group is taken, so that I can expect CH3, CCH3 with a double bond CH2. So this is known as what? 2-methyl propene, and this 2-methyl propene will be the major product. So here what is left out? This this is ionized as C2H5O minus and Na plus. This Na plus takes away Br to form what? NaBr. So from this, hydrogen is eliminated as a proton which combines with C2H5O minus, so that I can write it as C2H5OH. So this is the method when a tertiary alkyl halide is subjected to Williamson's ether synthesis. In the same way, when I discuss this particular Williamson's ether synthesis by using sodium phenoxide, or you can also call it as what? Sodium phenate, when it is made to react with simple alkyl halide, that is methyl bromide, which follows SN2 mechanism, so that it gives OCH3. This is nothing but anisole, or else you can also call this as methoxybenzene. Along with this, there is a formation of what? NaBr. So these are the different reactions by which we can analyze how Williamson's ether synthesis takes place. So after studying all this, let us discuss certain chemical properties with reference to ethers. So let us discuss the heading chemical properties of ethers. So when we discuss the chemical properties of ethers, in this chemical properties of ethers, we should know that ethers are less reactive. So these ethers are less reactive because, so you should know the reason. The ethers are less reactive because they do not contain an active functional group. So now a question comes, what is this active functional group? So since ethers are represented by ROR dash, so both sides, either there is an attachment of alkyl or there is an attachment of aryl, where this functional group is not directly involved in the reaction. Hence we tell that the ethers do not contain an active functional group. Due to this reason, these ethers are less reactive. And when we study the properties of these ethers, the ethers do not react. These ethers do not react with bases, and they do not react with reducing agents, oxidizing agents. They do not react with either bases, reducing agents, oxidizing agents, and active metals like sodium. Okay, so these are the certain properties that has to be known about ethers. So after knowing these properties, the first type of reactions that has to be studied in ether is cleavage of carbon and oxygen bond. Means when we study the chemical properties of ethers, in this major chemical properties of ethers, we have to study the breakage of bond between carbon and oxygen in an ether. In that, the first reaction is studied by using what? By using halogen acids. Now, when an halogen acid is utilized, here majorly when I consider an ether, that is ROR dash, when this ether is made to react with halogen acid, so this halogen acids can be either HCl or HBr or HI. So when it is made to react with halogen acids, by maintaining a temperature of 373 Kelvin, it readily gives rise to what? alcohol, because bond has to be broken between carbon and oxygen. It readily gives rise to alcohol along with the formation of what? Alkyl halide. So these are the halogen acids that can be involved. Now a question arises, which halogen acids are more reactive? So because of its greater size of iodide ion, there is a large distance between hydrogen and iodide ion. Due to this particular reason, hydrogen iodide reactivity is greater as compared to the reactivity of HCl. So HCl reactivity is less. When we write the order here, Hi is greater in its reactivity with HBr as compared to what? HCl. So now let us discuss a particular reaction with halogen acids. So when we discuss a particular chemical reaction with halogen acids, for example, I'll take C2H5O single bond C2H5. So C2H5O single bond C2H5 means what? It is nothing but diethyl ether. So when this diethyl ether is made to react with hydrogen iodide by maintaining a temperature of 375 Kelvin, or sorry, 373 Kelvin. Here breakage of bond takes place between carbon and oxygen such that we are going to get what? Ethyl alcohol. Along with ethyl alcohol, we are going to get ethyl iodide. So when we study this particular reaction, so this reaction has taking place, or this particular reaction will take place in two different steps. So how can I explain? So if excess of hydrogen iodide or excess of halogen acid, if excess of hydrogen iodide or excess of halogen acid is used, the alcohol first formed, it reacts further with halogen acid. The meaning is, if we use excess of Hi, that is halogen acid is used, the alcohol first formed, means initially it forms what? Alcohol. The alcohol which is formed first will further react with what? Halogen acid, and it forms, further reacts with halogen acid to form what? Alkyl halide. So now a question comes, how this particular conversion takes place. So let us discuss this conversion. So first step, when we study with first step, I can write it as, this is dialkyl ether, I mean to tell diethyl ether. So when this dialkyl ether is made to react with halogen acid in excess, so by maintaining a temperature of around 373 Kelvin, what we are going to get? We will get an alcohol. So along with alcohol, what we get? We get alkyl halide. So this HX is taken in what? Excess. So further, when I discuss the further step of this, since HX is taken in excess, here the alcohol which is obtained further undergoes reaction, so that the alcohol obtained will further involve in a chemical reaction with what? With HX again, so that it gives rise to what? It gives rise to alkyl halide along with the formation of water. Suppose if I write a particular reaction for this, that is when C2H5O C2H5, which is nothing but diethyl ether, when this diethyl ether is made to react with hydrogen iodide which is taken in excess, so that we know when it is taken in excess what we get? Alkyl halide. So that directly I can write it as C2H5I 2 moles, which is nothing but ethyl iodide along with the formation of water molecule. So this is the method how a chemical reaction takes place when excess amount of halogen acid is involved in a reaction.